Joining us now is Brett, and he owns a car dealership. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you, Donna. I'm great. How you doing?
Good. I've wanted to talk about cars for a very long time, so thank you for finally saying yes. It seems that car dealers are always busy. What is based upon, why? Why are you guys always busy? It seems like it's a 24/7 job. Because you come and film things here, right, Brett? And you're a zippity zip all over the place.
Well, I think that car dealerships are still one of the last brick and mortar retails because, you know, you want to see it, you want to sniff it, you want to, you know, so not everybody that comes in buys. They do break, they need maintenance. So there is always something going on at a car dealership. You still can't get on Amazon and just click and
think
you know,
that's going to be
you got to finance it. You have the motor vehicle stuff. So it's still one of the last Mohicans of the, you know, brick and mortar retail. Who knows where we'll be 30 years from now? Anything can happen.
Absolutely. Now, your dad and your godfather owned a business together. What was that dealership like growing up around that?
That was a place called Smith Haven Dodge in St. James. My dad was a car salesman and then a sales manager for my godfather, Bill Stein, in Brooklyn. They took a shot at a small dealership in St. James called Smith Haven Dodge. And in those days, car dealerships were really small community businesses. They weren't big business like they are today. It was just a little place like the size of a Carvel.
Right.
And they sold a couple of cars
like
a month.
Like a tree shop, like a pop-up tree shop almost on the corner, right?
Literally,
right.
Literally. And now car dealerships are just bigger business because it's so pricey to floor plan the cars and you just need more room to operate. So they just started in a little place on the corner of Lake Avenue and Jericho Turnpike in St. James, and just you know, over the years we grew it, thank God.
Now, do you also have like little conveniences at your dealership? Like, are there granola bars and coffee and water for like?
We do.
Okay.
It's all about experience. Let's face it, a car is a commodity, right?
Right.
You could go anywhere and get the same vehicle. So it is, we have this foofy coffee machine, and we do have granola bars, and we do have, you know, some of those snacks and those creature comforts, and we offer shuttle service and loaners, because at the end of the day, we need to give people a reason. We all do.
Right.
Why get it from Smith Haven as opposed to, you know, another place?
And one of the things that you do come in here and talk about sometimes, you record your things called Real Deals. What are real deals?
You know, it's funny that you say that because it's not just a saying. The reason why we call it Real Deals is there's a lot of, I don't want to say all the dealerships, but many or even most of the dealerships are advertising prices that aren't the actual transaction price. When I say transaction price, I mean just add tax, and then you do have a dock fee, you know, motor vehicles. But what I'm saying is dealers are doing things like adding prep charges. We're not going to prep the car. You have to prep the car.
Right, we're just going to sell it to you dirty, right? It's like whatever.
Or they include in the online price a down payment. But a down payment doesn't lower the price. The price is the price. So what we try to emphasize, and I'm not saying every other dealer is dirty and we're the only clean dealers,
no, I know
but there's a lot of chicanery in the business. So what we try to advertise and execute, we actually do, is to say, hey, whether you pay cash, finance, that's the price. Just add tax and tags and you could actually have the car. We don't have that.
Makes it simpler, right?
BS.
I know,
that's going on.
I remember sometimes I would go back and buy cars and things, and it's like you were there the whole day. And then by the time you're done, you might as well have bought a house because your paperwork is like this,
so true,
this big, and you're exhausted, and it takes the excitement out of actually getting the vehicle, because by then you're weary and you don't even feel like, you're like, oh man, I'm just going to drive home. I'm starving. I'm going to go through a drive-through and get food. And then you don't want to have drive food smell in your new car, so then you don't eat.
Right.
And it's not a good experience. I don't know, because you've grown up in a dealership, if you've ever really had the experience of buying a car from a dealership.
It's true.
But
I
I'm
understand
glad that
how
you're
you feel.
making it better, because it's bad sometimes.
And I think if the pricing is transparent,
makes it easier.
It's easier. There's less back and forth. Wait a second, what's this? Oh, it's a prep charge. Wait a second, why am I paying a prep charge? Don't you have to prep the car?
Right.
So yes, look, I can't lie to you. If it is a financial transaction, there is the bank part of it, the registering your car with DMV. Sometimes there's last minute issues, but we try to make the process go a little bit quicker.
Under 6 hours.
Exactly.
Okay.
And when you're
That's the
transparent
goal.
with the pricing, hopefully that helps a little bit.
So
And
Brett,
we try to be.
you have a lot of different varieties too. You have a Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Mazda.
Right.
Those are the ones that you have. Okay. So those are all great brands, right?
Yeah, I mean, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram is in one dealership.
Right. They're all.
It's together.
Right. Okay.
So Chrysler, is really known for their minivans and cars, and then Jeep, obviously the SUVs, and that's our core. And then Dodge is a performance division, and then Ram has the pickups. So they're all a little something different. On the Mazda side, it's a smaller, more boutique Japanese brand, and it's really just 90% SUVs. They have a large SUV in the CX-90 down to a smaller one in the CX-30, and they do have one compact car, the Mazda 3. So it's just a different type of brand.
Now, did you go to watch the Cars movies? Did you watch the Cars movies?
You know, it's funny that you say that because I realize I'm old to have a toddler, but that's my kid's favorite movie.
So great.
He's going to be 2 in a month, and
Lightning
he must have
McQueen.
watched it. Exactly,
Yeah.
McQueen. He must have watched it 100 times.
Well,
He
you
never
must be
gets
the
sick of it.
coolest dad then, because when you bring him to the dealership, he gets to see car,
Forget about
car,
it.
right?
He's in love with cars.
I
It has
love that.
nothing to do with me. He just loves cars.
And before we wrap up, I just wanted to mention too, like there is a future, right? You're dealing with electrification, right?
Big time.
Hybrids, EVs.
Changing the whole industry. Everything, the internal combustion engine, probably in the state of New York, we will not be able to sell an internal combustion engine car probably after 2035. So it's
Interesting.
all going past even hybrid, all going electric.
Wow.
And so it's
It's
definitely-
electric.
Yeah. It's changing the whole landscape. The maintenance is going to be different. Once you won't get tax credits for an electric car, the price is going to get higher. So it's a real shift in the industry.
I thank you for being here.
Well, I thank you for having
Because you've been
me,
coming
Donna.
like here and doing your own projects at the studio. And I said to
It
you the other
was
day,
great
I
to
said,
see you.
you know what? I want to talk about cars. So thank
I
you
love
very
it.
much.
It's my life. Thank you
nice to
so
have
much.
you
I
here.
appreciate you having me.
You're welcome. You know, family businesses, sometimes they go multiple generations. Check out Brett. Be well.